Find out today, ladies and gentlemen, America, on the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin, presented by the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin.com. Hey, listen to me real quick. Do you want to be on this show? Do you want to be on other shows? Do you want to have your own show? Of course you do. You know why? Because you're not a fucking moron. Go to the ericandrodneyshow.com. We have all the information. Ladies and gentlemen, great guest today. Welcome, Lukas Krause from SkyRun Vacation Rentals. The CEO, as a matter of fact. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I love the synergy here. You guys sponsor yourselves. I mean, this is an efficient operation.
That's how you do it.
You have to love yourself before you can love others. That's why I buy 2-ply toilet paper. You know what I mean? You got to be nice to your butthole.
You know, the other thing I'll tell you is that we had a lot of offers to sponsor us, but we came in the highest. So. Who's winning here? Who's winning?
Yeah, who's going to go over a nickel? Nobody? Well, your loss.
Well, you lost.
That's right, baby. This is huge. This is huge. Our Tuesday episode on YouTube has more than 1,000 views. 1,000 people.
Wow.
That's not bad.
Finally getting there.
I know. Finally, after 6 months. Okay, Lukas. I don't know if you've seen the show before, but the format is, you have. Good. So the first half hour, we talk about the news because America demands our opinions on such things. And then we interview you and you pitch for the Mets. That's fucking crazy. I mean, you've done other stuff too, but I like baseball. That's what I would talk about. Before we get to that, every day, Lukas, is some sort of day, some national day to celebrate in the United States. You know what today is? It's fitting for the first news story. Nobody knows. It's okay. It's National Go to an Art Museum Day. Holy shit. What a coincidence. Right? Isn't that incredible? Fellas.
I have a question. Are these pictures just pictures of art galleries?
Yeah, it's very meta. It's Inception. Do you guys like?
It's an art gallery inside of a picture inside of an art gallery.
That is very confusing. If this was what happened at art galleries, it would make them palatable because I hate going to art galleries. I love pretentious buffoonery, except for art. I don't. Do you like going to art galleries? Do they do anything for you? Do they do anything for anybody? Anyone?
Pretentious buffoonery. I love it.
Yeah,
that's a great word.
Buffoonery. This is why, because art. Go ahead, Robin. What do you got?
No, the only reason I've ever gone to an art gallery is to get laid because the girl I was dating before.
You know what? She was pretending to give a shit about art too. No one fucking cares. No one cares. It's impenetrable. Here's the thing: art without context is ununderstandable. Like, look at it. Nobody knows anything. My only thing, I have one analogy. I went to Rome once, and we saw a bunch of shit. Like just looking at, oh wow, look at that. But an American guy approached us. He goes, for $20, I'll give you a tour. All of a sudden, Rome lit up because he was telling us stories about the Colosseum, about the Pantheon. And then they had 7 virgins that had to keep some flame burning. And if they didn't, they would kill one of the virgins. I'm like, all of a sudden, this old shit is interesting.
Was it any of it true?
Gallery, what's that?
Was any of it true?
No, of course not.
Who knows? No, probably not. It was an American charging $20 for a tour. It was definitely not true. But at least it made it entertaining, you know?
Good con, man.
Yeah, thank you. The other thing I will say, because I'm always full of good tips and tricks, if you ever give a shit about art, this is a YouTube channel called Great Art Explained in 15 Minutes. This is actually 1624. He does such a great job of adding context to classic works of art. And Robin, if you say any of the shit that he said to a girl, they'll have sex with you. So I know you're in a committed relationship now. We all know that's not going to last. You're too young. But if you want to pretend to know about art, great boy. So nobody likes art, huh?
I got to be honest. It's 15 minutes too long for me. I need like a 30-second newsflash.
You like it. He's British. He's knowledgeable. He knows what Americans like. He goes after the good shit. Why people cut their ears off, who they were banging. It's just, it's a beautiful channel. All right. Well, listen, we have nothing on art. You want to go to the first news story?
I would love to. Okay. So I got to say, I got to hand it to the criminals, man. Every time we cover a criminal news story, they keep getting more and more creative. So we've had some pretty creative ones. We've had the Chick-fil-A bandits. We've had the thieves that stole all the dimes from the U.S. Mint. And I think my favorite by far was the crab legs. The crab legs,
frozen,
and
crab
the nickels. The nickels.
They were the same crew, I believe. The bandit.
Robin, Lucas, you don't know this, but Robin was once robbed by the Barefoot Bandits, notorious Filipino street gang that don't wear shoes.
Yeah. In third world countries, the gangs can't afford Nikes. It's crazy, right? What a time to be alive.
Detectives can't track the shoe footprint.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that's one way to get out of it. That's true. All right, Robin, what did these people steal?
So this time, 4 men were involved with stealing America itself. So it's a piece of satirical art. It's a golden toilet titled America. And it's estimated to be worth about $6 million. So it was taken out of the Blenheim Palace. I'm not sure if this is like a museum. But so far, authorities haven't been able to recover the toilet.
Lordy sweet Jesus, this is a $6 million toilet that somebody stole. You know why they were able to steal it? Listen, they didn't go into the story. I don't know how they did it. Sketch artists did come up with 2 suspects, though. I don't know if you saw this. Fucking
these Italian fellas.
These 2 Italian plumbers. It is an Italian work of art, by the way. But Italian so for an undisclosed sum, you could have access to the toilet for 3 minutes. Did you know that?
No. I have a question. A couple of questions. How much is the toilet?
$6 million.
$6 million, and this is where they put it.
Well,
this looks like a public restroom, and who's designing this thing?
It is
like at an angle, right? And like,
yeah. I don't know who designed the room, but I know that this guy's the artist. This is the wacky artist, and I didn't know anything about him. This is what I like about doing the show. I learn a lot. I want to do a deep dive into this guy because he also does other hilarious things, like a praying Hitler. I assume is what this is. I didn't have the time to do a deep dive into this, but look at this guy's art.
Can you go back to the other picture, the first one? Not of the toilet. I just have a question. Yeah, that. Which one's the artist?
I'm not sure. Isn't that what great art is all about? Ambiguity. I don't know. Yes. Look at this shit, though. This guy's a good artist. Seriously though, how do you steal a toilet? How does and they said it was connected to the plumbing system and it damaged a whole bunch of shit, rooms, floors. I don't know, but how do 4 guys go into this and walk out of a museum with a $6 million toilet?
I think this is another question. The next sequel for Ocean's 11, right?
That's right.
You gotta get more creative, man.
Here's a question. So I just wanted so I can wrap my head around it. So somebody installed Donald Trump's toilet at Fulton County Prison on 60 Days In. Is that what I'm hearing? And then someone stole it.
You couldn't have jazzed up this room in any way. This is a very standard public bathroom, and you're putting a $6 million.
And they even have accents like silver and gold. Guys, come on, you're better than that.
Authorities say that they have no hopes of recovering the toilet because they think they melted it down or whatever. It's gold plated, so yeah. Isn't it beautiful that it's called America though? This guy's fucking hilarious. Like America we're swimming in wealth, but everyone's poor, and this is it. God bless this fella. Oh, his name is Mauricio Catalan. I don't know. Robin, you speak Italian, right? Can you jazz this up for me?
I have no idea how to say it. No.
All right. Well, if we got nothing on this, I got more pretentious buffoonery in the next story.
Okay. So I know we're big fans of alcohol on our show. Our logo actually is a glass of bourbon. Would you believe it? And we've actually been complimented quite a lot of times on our logo. Right? People seem to like it.
Eric hates it.
Okay. I do not hate it.
Okay, so this story is all about binge drinking and which countries are considered the booziest nations. Yeah. So binge drinking actually has a criteria. It's that you need to drink at least 6 different drinks in a single session. Now, this is going to be sad news because America comes in 10th. So we're nowhere near the list. But Rodney and Lukas, do you want to potentially guess what the top 3 is? A hint, they're all in Europe.
Ireland?
No, shocking. I know.
Germany?
Nope.
No. It's okay. So the top 3: Britain 3rd, Romania number 2, and Denmark number 1.
I know. Here's okay.
Wow.
Okay. I have concerns about myself and my drinking habits. So I couldn't. Classic Fox News story. They don't actually cite. They don't show you the fucking thing. They just talk about it. So I had to pull up another list. So this one, I mean, vaguely similar in some way. Eastern Europe, Latvia, Moldova, Germany, Lithuania, whatever. Okay. Liters, right? We don't use a fucking metric system. So I don't know what a liter is, but I reverse engineered the math. Okay. 13 liters equals 3 gallons. But I go, I don't know how much. They don't sell booze by the fucking gallon, or maybe they do, but I don't buy it by the gallon. I buy it like a normal person by the 750, right? Okay, so then I was like, holy shit, how many of these are in 3 gallons, which is what Latvians drink, and they're the most boozy people on the planet, according to this. It's either them or the Romanians. It's only 15 of these. It's only 15.
For the whole country?
No. Per person a year. There's 0 chance I drink less than 15 of these. I think they got to redo the numbers, or I'm an all-star. 15 of these? I mean, if you...
Great product placement, by the way, too. I mean, label facing forward. I mean, yeah.
Thank you. I have 6. You probably can't see it. I have 6 empty bottles right here. Okay, Weller, for example, right? It's empty again. This is 80 proof. That's breakfast bourbon. I could have one of these by fucking 12, and I'm already on track in one day to setting the world record. Fuck Latvia. I think our all-star team could bury these people as long as I'm on it.
The drinking team, the American drinking team.
3 gallons a year doesn't seem like that much, does it?
Not really.
Lucas, do you drink?
Yeah.
How about like what? Okay. All right, here's another thing. They said binge drinking is 6 drinks at one setting. I don't think is that. I play trivia some nights. I'll have 5 drinks then a shot. And I feel fine. I'm not hungover.
I think getting older, it's the next day that's painful. It's more than a couple of drinks. I'm used.
You know how you avoid that? You sleep through the next day. The day after, you're fine. Robin, do you think 6 drinks in one setting is a lot? I just had a Halloween party at like 80.
I did that last weekend, and I'm very low tolerance. I passed out. I can't. I think I only had 4 bottles of beer.
Oh, well, I mean, God, I know people have accused us of being racist, but Asians, don't you have some sort of aversion to alcohol? Do you know the Asian you had flush and shit?
Yes, that's a big thing. Actually, my older brother, he's completely allergic to alcohol. So like if he drinks anything with some alcohol in it, he'll get rashes all over his body.
No, what a terrible, 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 terrible allergy to have. I looked up the reverse, though. Do you want to know who drinks less? It's a 5-way tie at the top where alcohol is illegal. Isn't that weird? Somalia, Bangladesh, Kuwait, whatever. I can't pronounce that in Saudi Arabia. 5-way tie at 0. But look at Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Egypt. I don't know a lot about these countries, but something would tell me that drinking would make them better in some way. Don't you think? Have a few drinks.
And you got to figure underreporting if it's illegal too, right? Because this is surveying that.
Yeah.
It's not legal in any of these countries, right?
Yeah. They're virtue signaling at the top. They're like, they don't drink at all. It's illegal. Of course I don't fucking drink.
Should have charts on moonshine consumption. That would make sense.
Appalachia would be one with a fucking bullet.
They're like moonshine distilleries out in the desert.
But bring it full circle, toilet bowl wine, built in that gold toilet. I mean, that's probably really good stuff. Maybe that's why they stole it.
I don't want wine made in the toilet, but I would like to drink with some Latvians and then piss in a gold toilet. Wouldn't that be a nice
drink ourselves into the toilet?
Can you puke in the gold toilet? I would do that. Yeah, I don't know. But to your point, Ireland at number 5, embarrassing. The number 1 country per capita, though, do you know what that is? I'll just tell you. The Vatican. Those Catholics, well, they're not getting laid. Well, they kind of. All right. What else? What do we got next? We got to talk about some baseball and vacation rentals.
Yes. Okay. So this next story just makes me really sad. I haven't had a story actually that makes me this sad. So this is a police's verbatim description on what they found. They found a multi-million-dollar Willy Wonka-like magic mushroom factory operating inside a suburb in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So the owner initially tried to play it off as like a bunch of shiitakes, but eventually just gave up the jig. So $8.5 million worth of magic mushrooms were seized out of this kid's house. There's no statistic on the weight of it, but I'd imagine that's a lot of mushrooms.
Robin, I feel
like shiitakes.
Not shiitake. Well, here's the thing, man. This is our suspect. He's a national treasure. They're going to ruin this kid's life off of something that's going to be totally legal or at least decriminalized, I think, on the federal level in the next 2 to 4 years. There are still people in prison for weed. What the fuck are we doing as a nation? Mushrooms are the most innocuous drug out there. I'm not just saying that because they're my preferred drug of choice. But Jesus, man, look at this kid. He's industrious as shit. He's an entrepreneur. You know how I know that this story is bullshit? Even in the Fox News comments, I'm ready for, fucking the youth. They love drugs. When I was a kid, I was in the army. Even the Fox News commentators like, this is bullshit. He's an entrepreneur. What are we doing? Why are we sending people to prison for shit like this? But that's a lot of shiitakes.
That's a shit ton of shiitakes.
So this kid, the most impressive thing, he's just 21 years old and he's running this entire thing by himself.
Yeah, I get more pictures. I wasn't prepared for this story in this order, but hold on. I mean, it's really fucking impressive the amount of shit he has. Hold on. Oh my God, I'm frozen.
I got to be honest. How in the world did he get called?
Somebody tipped the fucking feds off. I know.
Jake Plummer have like a large mushroom growing operation out of like Idaho. Like the retired football player? I think he
Jake Plummer. I know Jake Plummer well. He beat the Patriots once. I was very upset about that. I don't know. Lucas, how do you feel about mushrooms? Are you pro, con?
Never done it, so I don't have.
Well,
do you like them on your salad? Wow. Yikes.
It's very impressive, this kid's operation. But how do you grow 8.5? First of all, I don't think mushrooms are that expensive. Like that's good. That's like 50 grand worth. That's 8.5 million.
You know what would have made more sense is if he would have moved to a state to open up this operation where they were legal.
You know where they're legal?
Oregon, right? Isn't it Oregon?
Yep. Denver, Colorado is well. See, it's cities within states. So even Salem, Massachusetts, just decriminalized it. I think all of Oregon.
So see, here's the thing. He should have consulted me. I would have said, listen, before you go to prison for the rest of your life, let's figure out where we can do this legally. Just a little bit of planning would have helped him, because I got to be honest, this seems very difficult.
Well, here's the thing. He's young. Robin, how old is he in? 18, 19, 20?
21, I think.
Oh, well, I think he's probably still living with his parents. Something tells me this is his parents' house. Like, what 21-year-old has enough room? You know what I mean?
And parents didn't notice that he was doing this?
His parents didn't notice that he was doing some.
Yeah, they're like, son, I can't help but notice the $8.5 million worth of mushrooms you have laying around. Did you want to sell any of this at any point? Get it out of the fucking house. Like, what are you doing? This was another story where I was all worked up with facts to like, oh yeah, fuck, Connecticut has all these problems. And it turns out they're pretty low in crime. But I will say, so there were 1,685 crimes reported per every 100,000 residents. Why don't you solve every one of those before you worry about the fucking mushroom kid? It's innocuous. No one ever beats their spouse when they do mushrooms. You don't get in car accidents. You just taste colors and see sounds, and you're fucking fine. Stop. Lucas, have I sold you? Did you want some mushrooms?
I
might need some of your breakfast whiskey. You know.
Did you watch yesterday?
You got to start slow.
My breakfast whiskey. As long as it's 80 proof, it's fine for breakfast.
Yesterday, our guest, Lucas, believe it or not, called in from his bed.
From his Airbnb.
Yeah. He was on a book tour.
And he didn't know the difference between AM and PM. That's a real story. I'm not just it's very complicated. AM.
Hopefully he was using one of our rentals. That would be nice. So we could get product placement.
No. He would never check out. He'd be like, I thought it was 10 a.m. I thought it was 10 p.m.
What day is it?
I don't know. It's confusing for actors. All right, what else do we got? Can we do the Michelin story next? I'm prepared for that.
Okay. Before we get into this one, sorry, I missed this one actually. Have any of you eaten in a Michelin-starred restaurant? Was it worth it?
Do you guys want to go?
I have been to one.
I think one. Yeah, I'm not too big of a foodie, so it wasn't the greatest experience.
I ate a egg McMuffin once inside of a Michelin tire store. Also,
while you're waiting in the waiting room.
Yeah, I was waiting in the waiting room for them to put on those radials.
Was that good?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little salty.
Did you know Michelin is the Michelin? They're the same company. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
they created it to sell tires.
Yeah, it's genius. That is fucking marketing, by the way. That's, oh my God, unbelievable. I'll tell you my Michelin story. I was in Lisbon, Portugal, and I was with my wife and brother. We had a flight, so we only had one day there, and we were fucking starving. I was on the brink of death. I walked past a 3 Michelin-starred restaurant, but there was a line. Right next door was a pizza shop. But since I was on, and I am a foodie, but since I was on the brink of death, I got shitty pizza instead of waiting in line for a 3 Michelin-starred restaurant. It's the greatest regret of my life. I'll never. I can't. I think about it.
You should have gone to the trash can in the back.
I know. And the pizza was awful. Right next door to a Michelin-starred restaurant.
I got to tell you, I don't think Portugal's known for its pizza.
No. For good reason. But I was so hungry. We were all so hungry. All right, Rob.
What you go there next? Jeez, I got to change my travel plans.
Oh my God.
Well, just don't get the pizza.
The story goes a little further than that real quick. Like, I am a Banksy fan. I don't like museums, but I do like Banksy. So that day there was a Banksy exhibit we didn't go to, and we didn't go to a 3 Michelin-starred restaurant. That would have been like the greatest day of my life.
What were you guys busy doing? Watching TV?
Being fucking hungry and stupid. It was awful. Awful. Anyway, what do we got? Oh, what's going on here? In Ireland.
New Ireland.
Teed up, Robin. What do we got?
Okay, so this is about a Michelin-starred restaurant closing shop because they seem to not be able to handle the costs of operating. So this particular one is called Apic, and they're stationed in Belfast, Northern Ireland, I think. So since the lockdown, they said they were never able to fully recover, and the market for gourmet dining is slowly dying. which is sad because cooking I'd consider a real art. And I think there's nothing you could do to replace a really good fine dining experience.
First of all, the cost of living is outrageous. Food is fucking crazy, but their tasting menu at a fucking 3 Michelin-starred restaurant, I think they're 3, is only $123. I drink more.
I see the problem already. It's
Yeah.
too expensive. It's too cheap.
It's too cheap for a tasting menu at a Michelin-starred restaurant.
Raise the prices, guys.
Lucas, you're from Chicago. You said Alinea is your big Michelin-starred restaurant. The tasting menu there is $500, and theirs is $123, and they're going under.
Do you see the guy on the right bears a similar resemblance to our mushroom entrepreneur? Like hair,
he does.
That guy.
That's right. Twins.
Could have been him, but they
Daddy?
ruined his life.
They need that software.
He was in Ireland and the house was to himself, and that's how
Chefs do get laid. Chefs are the new rock stars, so it would make sense if he did.
We need the guy on from the last week from Jimmy John's from Clear Cogs to help these guys out with his software.
You can cut some costs. Yes. Lucas, I know you said you're not a foodie, but everything about this speaks to my soul. Oh my God, I love this pretentious bullshit. Pretentious buffoon. This is pretentious buffoonery done well. Crab Royal? I don't know what that is. I don't know what a spring pea is, but I'm down with it. Wild leeks? Absolutely. Barbecue spring cabbage? Mm-hmm. Oh, look at this. Oh, for $50?
I'm sorry, what's a soda bread?
It's an Irish bullshit. I think when they do the dough, they put
the crispy chicken sounds special.
So I have 2 kids. Every time we go to McDonald's, it's $50. I'd much rather do this for $50. Look at this. Ready? Oh my God. I don't know what it is, but I want it in my mouth hole. Oh, I love this pretentious bullshit. Oh, it looks like art. I'm just going to shit it out.
Salad.
It's spring. Yeah, but that looks like some sort of fish. Some sort of
nice, like a salmon.
Mm-hmm. Look at this. Oh, what is this? Who knows? Who cares? I just want to fucking eat it.
Delicious. Wow.
And it never ends. Look at this. Look at the bar. Oh, fancy. He's pouring it from a distance. I love everything about this, and I'm sad.
From a distance. Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm glad you're from Chicago because I looked it up. I am a foodie. There's never been a single Michelin-starred restaurant in Boston. Did you know that? Did you know that there are 72 in New York, Rodney? Did you know that there are 22 in Chicago, Lucas? I don't know how many in the Philippines. I had to take a guess. 0.
Probably 0.
So, Lucas, why are you not a foodie? What are you, a meat and potatoes guy? A Hot Pockets and
yeah, my stomach's a delicate flower, so it's more eating for function and not creating other issues.
What's your give me top 5 foods? What are they?
Well, what I like and what I can eat. I mean, that's a whole different. I mean, I'm all in pizza, lasagna, being a Chicagoan, sausage, you name it, all the stuff that just makes us larger human beings.
That abomination you call Chicago style pizza? It's a casserole. What is that? What are you doing?
Isn't that Chicago style deep dish? That's the one.
That's right. It's deep dish. Yeah. You ever had it at Pizza Hut?
It looks really delicious.
It's great.
Yeah. Tell them you read a lot of books. You're there for your book it card.
Are you? You get a,
remember that?
I do. You read a lot of books, you get a pizza. The world was a better place back then.
Yeah.
Look, do you think it's better than like crispy Italian style pizza? Are you going to die on that hill?
No, I'm not. So here's the thing: the deep dish, I'm not a huge fan. Like there's some great pizza that above and beyond just deep dish out there. So I don't like the super thin. I'm kind of in the middle. But yeah,
regular crust.
You like a medium crust?
Yeah. Just regular stuff.
It just kind of feels like I'm being scammed.
What does?
Thin crust pizza. It just feels like I'm being scammed. I don't get full. It just feels
this is very. Someone made an observation once that Americans love crispy as like that's like our thing. If we just like crispy chips, crispy pizza, we like crispy outsides of things. We like to sear meat hard so it's a little crispy. So I think if you don't live in a culture that's crispy centric, maybe you don't appreciate the thin crust pizza. And I think that's what we've run into here.
I agree with Robin when I was younger. I mean, it's all about value, and you're trying to make again meat and eat value. You're like, wait, this thin crust pizza, I'm not getting my money's worth.
Humans are out of their fucking minds. At no point have I ever been eating pizza and I go, but what about the value?
You know what? I could tell you when I used to be in, I actually was in high school when I did this, and I would go to the mall. I don't know if you know what this is, Rob. We used to have malls, and and I would go to the mall. They would always have a lady or somebody standing out there with like pieces of chicken, and I literally would eat 3 to 4 pounds of the chicken.
Oh, like Panda Express.
That's right.
They
would see me coming, and they would be like, "Get back, get in the back."
It's like samples at Costco or BJ's. They just taste better. I don't know. I can't explain it. Once you buy the shit and bring it home, it tastes like garbage. But there, setting, it's just like mushroom.
And I'll wait for them to make it. I'll be like, hold on a second. They're bringing out a fresh round of the burgers. How long, sweetie? Or how long, sir?
I got nothing to do. I'm here all day, baby.
And it's always like, and I'll tell you this about when I go to those places. It's always the older people, right? The older test samplers, whatever, that really have the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Do you think they rank it by age, by seniority?
Well, last time I was there, the crab ragoons, right, were incredible, and the little mini burgers, little sliders were incredible. So I got stuck in that aisle for 45 minutes.
I will say this about my my love of pretentious buffoonery. I also love like dog shit, like little tiny hot dogs wrapped in crescent things. Like, oh my god, those are
very
fucking
good. A little mustard with the mustard.
Yes. Jalapeno poppers. Oh, I think life is about liking the most amount of stuff that you could possibly like. Like, don't
Have you had fried avocado?
No, they fry avocado now.
Yeah, it's good. I had it at a party a couple weeks. Yeah. Slightly dusted with miso crumbs.
Oh my god. Here's deep. Okay, here's the problem with America is we started deep frying stuff we shouldn't and aren't deep frying stuff we should. So we started deep frying Snickers. We started deep frying Oreos. They don't need it. But I went to a place
butter like crazy. I mean,
oh my god! But they deep fried blue cheese. Oh my god! We deep fry mozzarella. Why don't we deep fry the rest of the cheeses? It's amazing.
The cheese family.
The cheese family. Deep fry everything. Deep fried blue.
Come on in, pick out a block. We'll fry it up.
All right, what's the next story? We got baseball to talk about, baby. Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if any of you guys are very fond of tattoos, but apparently the tattoo industry is a really big thing in America. So one of the biggest names has kind of gone viral because she turned to Jesus after abandoning what she calls was a life of witchcraft. Her name is Kat Von D. So I know we're not really very pro-religion on this podcast, but I do think playing with tarot cards, crystals, and spellcasting is a little bit more crazy than religion.
Yeah, Robin.
So I still like the idea of Christianity because there's 3 people on earth.
Robin, you're right. Playing with tarot cards is a bridge too far. Now, you come from a Catholic background, don't you? So obviously tarot cards are batshit crazy. You know it's not crazy? Drinking Jesus's blood. That's not crazy at all, right? Your mock cannibalism ceremonies. Oh, but wait. You drank all his blood. You get the body left. Oh, let's eat some wafers. Let's eat some Jesus wafers. How the audacity of a fucking Catholic to say that some other shit is crazy. I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm an atheist. But you can buy Jesus crackers on Amazon. 5-star.
Can I have a question? I have a question. Why are there 66 answered questions? What question could you have? Was there something unclear? You see that right there where it's ratings and it's like 66 answered questions? What in the world could you be asking?
Everyone do yourselves a favor and read the reviews of the Jesus crackers and the wine because they're fucking hilarious. So they talk about like how many of these boxes is full Jesus. Like it's comedy gold. It's the best thing I've ever seen. Anyway, I have one other point of contention with the story, which is this line right here. Okay, well, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She liked tattoos, being cool. And then she said that led her to new age practices like witchcraft, meditation, and yoga. Now, boys, help me out. The word new implies what? Like new, right?
New stuff. The new stuff.
Okay, here's the reason Fox News is dumber than I've ever given it credit for. I did some research. Meditation. New. Meditation's new. It dates back definitely to 1500 BC. Maybe to 3000 BC. One of you, I don't know what BC means. What does BC mean? Does anybody have any?
Before Christ.
Oh my. Who's the central character in Christianity? Can you help me out here?
Jesus Christos.
Christos. Yoga.
World of Warcraft. That's newer, right? That could have qualified for
everything is newer than Jesus. This is the dumbest article I've ever seen. Yoga, you're never going to believe this. Dates back to probably 500 BC, but definitely 200 BC. Once again, BC, I believe, stands for before Christ. So Jesus Christ, do your fucking research before you publish an article, foxnews.com. And you know how in the wild, like brightly colored snakes and insects and flowers mean they're crazy, should stay away from them, they're poisonous? That's the same. She's batshit. Why are we talking about her? Robin, why'd you do this to me?
I don't know. It was like one of the top stories on Fox, so I had to do it.
Yeah, tarot cards are crazy though, right?
Does she have something coming out for the media tour to make it relevant? Like,
she needs to get back in the news.
What is she doing?
Her reality show is canceled. Robin, when was the last time you drank some Jesus?
Oh, wait. Have any of you actually tried a communion? So like my biggest problem with communion is like when you put it in your mouth, it kind of sticks to the roof of your mouth, and it's just
I was a confirmed Catholic. I know my enemies. So listen, I'm an atheist now, but I did all your fucking bullshit. You know what the worst part about eating and drinking Jesus? Sleeping with the priest beforehand. No, but when they put it, I can say that I'm a Catholic. Also, do they do the thing in your country where they put
you're gonna upset your one fan?
Lucas, I got hate mail once because of my takes on Catholicism. You know what's gross though, is when the priest puts the thing in your mouth. Do they do that over there?
They do, yes. We have to take it directly from their hand. Yeah.
It's so fucking disgusting. Oh my God, everything about it's weird. Look at the time. We get to talk about baseball now. Is we all relieved? Lucas, can you give us your origin story, your hero, the journey?
Once upon a time.
Oh no, just originally from the Chicago area. So Midwest family, parents from the South Side. Did my undergrad in Indiana. We didn't travel much, and so it was
Indiana.
Live in the same place. But no, I've had kind of colorful existence professionally. Worn a lot of different hats. Worked for large deregulated monopolies like AT&T. Then I know the story you want to get to. After I didn't really play in college, and after graduating college, I worked for 2 years and trained to become a pitcher, and got signed by the Mets, and had a season and a half there. And that's a very colorful experience before kind of going back into the professional world after being retired by the Mets. All
right. I do want to get to the Mets, but I want to go a little bit before. You worked at Quiznos for 2 years?
No, actually about 7 years there.
7 years. I'm not very good at math. Sorry. So we had a guy on the other day that was a franchisee for Jimmy John's. Now, do you feel like Jimmy John's is superior to Quiznos, or is Quiznos superior to Jimmy John's?
Oh, I think they nailed the delivery piece. I mean, I could geek out on the mechanics of it. So, for them, they figured out the throughput. And so they generated, at like a location level, they were able to do delivery, and their average unit volume for sales was probably 2x of what a Quiznos was doing, because they were confined to the, the four walls of the restaurant.
Oh, so Jimmy John's nailed it. I've never been to a Jimmy John's.
And they nailed what they were. I mean, Jimmy John's, it was about speed, right? Lunch break, people don't have time, quick. Good enough. Quiznos what they did really well was it was a great product. The problem was that just the economics were really challenging at high.
Yeah, Quiznos the food's good. Value. Yeah, the food's good. They're so stupid commercials. Remember when they came out with those stupid Super Bowl commercials? They were so stupid. Those were the worst commercials ever.
I like them.
They should have just gave away free sandwiches.
That's what they were called. They were right before I started there. I was at baseball, and then it was the first job I had after baseball. I was working there.
Man,
is it the whole gimmick? Is that they toast the shit? Is that the thing with Quiznos?
Yeah, it's really good though.
I know.
You see it going under the toasting thing. It's cool.
Well, a chef, and you talked about the samples, but it was actually really intentionally designed with the bread and like the sesame, like the seeds. The heat would activate the oils that go into the bread. Like there was actual real thought in the recipe.
Are there any Quiznos in Massachusetts? Are they still around?
Much smaller. I could spend an hour just on that alone. Peak, I think there were about 6,000 locations. I think somewhere around 700, 800 today.
That's it?
Yeah. And the products, it definitely, they kind of changed and pivoted to a little more of the value side versus like that chef inspired recipe.
You know what I always thought about sandwiches? I don't know anything about restaurants, but I always thought to myself this, when like these stores would be like, well, Subway, this is when Subway was doing really well, right? And they're like, well, what's the secret? What's the secret? A $4.99 sub.
Yeah.
If they're $5, we're $4.99. Get on in here.
Well,
right? And then Subway's always like, we don't know how to turn it around. Let's hire Tom Brady and all these people. Make it cheap.
You want to talk? I have ties to Subway. Not that I knew him, but I actually went to undergrad with Jared at Indiana, and so
wow.
Yeah, Jared, the Subway guy.
We buried the lead.
He was in the business group, like a cohort with one of my roommates. So when he was doing that, and I could, and he was kind of doing the diet, and you could see him losing the weight. I mean, pretty dramatically that year.
Sometimes I don't believe there's a God, but then sometimes we have a show like this where we cover the Catholic Church and Jared, and I go, there has to be meaning. There has to be some. There has to be some design, right? What are the odds?
Right.
The thing. So quality. Americans like shit that's shitty and cheap, right? Is that?
That's right.
Was a victim of that.
High volume, Sam's Club, Costco.
That's right. That's why I said $4.99 versus $5.
Right.
See where I'm going with it? Like Subway today, they're like, but you see those commercials and they're like, well, I don't understand. Well, how can we revamp the place? fire to celebrities, $5 subs again, guys. I'll be here all week.
I don't want a
it's common
personal
sense.
anecdote. Yeah. So I wanted to own a food truck. That was my first big dream. Well, I've had many big dreams, but I looked into it and I was about to buy this truck from this dude. He was the hot dog king of Massachusetts. He's also the president of the Massachusetts Corvette Society. So he was doing very well. So I'm looking at his truck. He was like, all right. He goes, what are you going to sell? I said, I want to do Korean tacos because that was hot out in LA. They were selling Korean tacos. I lived in Korea. White guy selling Korean tacos. I thought it'd be funny. He goes, no, sell hot dogs. I was like, no, I don't want to. I want to be fucking special and unique. He goes, you buy it in a hot dog for a nickel. You buy cans of peppers and onions for 25 cents. You sell the shit for $6. He goes, I'm rich. Why would you do anything else? And that's where it's artistic integrity versus volume and Corvettes. And that's what we do. We go to volume and Corvettes.
So is that why the dream didn't happen? You didn't get the food truck because you're going to compromise on your artistic.
And I didn't want to be. I don't want to blow $100,000 on my dream of Korean taco making. So it's an American tale.
Maybe you know what you could have done is you could do the hot dogs, and then as an appetizer you do the Korean tacos.
That's how you leave. Well, I didn't know you then. I didn't have a mentor. I thought it was one of the other.
I'm an idiot.
Fuck. Next time. Okay, I guess enough about Quiznos and Subway. Let's talk about. Okay, so man, the Mets. Help me out here. So you did not play collegiate baseball. Did you play baseball in high school?
I did. Yeah, I mean, it's a much longer story. I was probably ill-equipped. I was a pretty good player, but I was trying to play first base as like a 5'11", 155-pound first baseman in the heart of the steroid era. Yep. So there wasn't really a lot of prospects for playing in college.
They did steroids for baseball?
Dude, see, so young and from a different country. The baseball
Robin's been
era,
in a basement for years. He's never seen the TV.
Robin, steroids saved baseball. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa home run race, and then Barry Bonds coming out and hitting 70-something. I mean, it was the greatest time to be alive. Oh, Pedro struck them all out. The 99 All-Star game was, oh my God. Anyway, so you decide, steroids and baseball are a huge thing. Congress got involved. That's how big it was.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you decide you can't pursue baseball, but the bug was in you. It never.
Yeah, unfortunately, I grew a little in college, and so I did walk on as a senior at Indiana, and got cut after just a little time in playing in the spring in the fall before the real spring season. And so graduating, this is after September 11th, really a down economy. Mm-hmm. So all my friends previously had great job offers with signing bonuses, and I'm fighting just try to get a job. Yeah. But no, I had the bug, and it was kind of a lifelong dream. And so, kind of looking at the landscape, kind of evaluate what was the best path. I happened to be left-handed, had a strong arm. And so, kind of developed a plan to really reinvent myself as a pitcher. So I moonlighted every night, while working 50, 60 hours a week. Every night I'd be lifting, I'd be running, I'd be thrown against a brick wall. Like I had a strike zone painted on it. It could be negative 10 degrees. I'd clear the path and throw every night. And wow. Funny thing, I'd get pitching lessons from a former college coach, and he'd be working with like 12-year-olds. And so, the humility you have to have, right? You're a 22, 23-year-old, and you're waiting for your pitching lessons, and he's working with 12-year-old Billy, and guess what? 12-year-old Billy's better than you.
Yeah. That's hilarious. That's like when Kramer was taking karate classes and he was beating up all the 11-year-olds.
It's like Billy Madison.
Yeah, but the problem was I wasn't beating them up. They were probably better than me. So Kramer at least had that edge.
Well, I was going to ask, so when you're training to be a pitcher, like who's catching for you? Because you must throw in the 90s, right? If you have aspirations of playing in the mid.
Yeah. So that was what was hard. So that was why that brick wall at Maplebrook Elementary School became my best friend, because you couldn't find. No
one's going to catch 90s,
right?
No.
Yeah. No. Well, that, and who really wants to, right? And
nobody.
Actually, no one. We're old. Like give up the dream a little bit. And so that's why I truly would throw like simulated bullpen sessions against that wall.
Wow, that poor wall. What else do you throw? So fastball, obviously. What's in your repertoire? You got a gyro ball? Remember that shit?
Yes, professional baseball. I probably didn't throw much of anything, but I had a curveball and a changeup.
Nice, classic.
What's the hardest pitch to learn? Would you say?
Really just having command of all of it. It's the precision. Fastball, everyone knows. Curveball, is kind of what you learn early on, but like if you can throw a really good slider or split finger like that, the precision you need on that. Because those things are, you want late movement, and you want to actually what's really confusing is you don't want to change much of your arm action because you're telegraphing it to, hitter. So you can throw all these things, but to do it at a high level and not actually telegraph, everything has to happen like here. So like a fastball, you're finishing through. Curveball, you're turning your hand. I can't even do a camera, hand in front. A slider, you're just kind of punching through. And so to be able to do it these small movements without telegraphing is actually one of the harder parts of it.
You must be unbelievable at wiffle ball. Did you ever think about transitioning to professional wiffle ball? Because I see those kids on Instagram and they're fucking crazy.
No, I mean, I think my arm would fall off trying to throw something that light, and after the damage I did playing baseball, I think my arm would probably come detached.
Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, so you're throwing balls against walls. You're taking some lessons. How do you get a Major League Baseball tryout? Do you email somebody?
Yeah, how does that happen?
Yeah, so it was this was the thing. Like, you have to be, embrace failure. So I like being in Chicago, like professional teams would come through like open tryouts, and so you wait in line with hundreds of other people who are chasing this dream, right? Oh. Yeah. And you do those workouts. And I went to every single one of those and got cut, right? I say cut, but they just like, yeah, no, sure. Thanks. Then I was even chased it with like some of the independent league teams that are kind of like a rung. They're not even affiliated ball. None of them had any interest. And so, I kept going to all of those for that first year. And then I have some friends who actually did play, professionally, and they lined up some workouts. So I had one with the Baltimore Orioles, flew out to Baltimore and went to Camden Yards and had a great workout. And this was about a year and a half, almost 2 in to this journey. And I actually had a pretty good workout. And they gave the nice brush off. They're like, no, you look really good. If we have room in spring training, we may give you a call. Oh. And, so that didn't work. And then my friend kind of was like, hey, I'll figure out, I'll get another. And they lined up a workout for the Mets. It was out in Norfolk, Virginia. But, the Blue Jays were there and the White Sox. But it was at, like an indoor facility for the Mets AAA affiliate. And that was the workout that made it happen. I flew out there on a Wednesday night, Thursday morning workout, and we negotiated terms that Thursday night. When I flew back, I had to go to my office job, quit that day, not that Friday, while they're doing a background check on me. And then Saturday flew to spring training. It was a pretty quick turnaround.
Holy shit. So you were in spring training with the Mets. Where is Florida? Is that where?
Yeah, Port St. Lucie.
And then, so did you make it out of spring training, or was that where the dream?
Yeah, so I got hurt really quick.
That'll happen.
You think about it, you're working 50, 60-hour weeks and you're kind of moonlighting. I was in great shape for a workout, but the real grind of, the rigors of baseball, because it's every day. I mean, you realize, you're playing, 100 in major leagues, you're playing 162 games in about 175 days. Mm-hmm. It's just every day. So within the first 2 weeks, I had a kind of hip flexor issue. So they kept me in spring training with all kind of the other injured folks. Yeah. And after that kind of recovered and I got in better shape, they kind of just released me to different minor league teams and I started to climb the ranks. But really quickly after my second stop, started having shoulder pain and they thought it was tendonitis. And I'd go to I'd pitch nights where I couldn't even open the car door. But I get some Vioxx, which was a heavy duty anti-inflammatory. They took off the market because it was so effective. But I would then end up pitching that night. And so at the end of the season, I had a small partial tear in my labrum. Jesus. And so it was just kind of trying to rehab through that.
Being surrounded by professional athletes, though, at that level must have been fucking nuts, right? Because they are so good and so strong and so fast.
It was amazing. So like spring training, you got everyone there. And so, Gary Carter, Hall of Fame catcher, is working with the catchers. I'm throwing a bullpen session and Tom Glavin's next to me and Al Leiter's right on the other side. And, you have all the 86 Mets there, like Mookie Wilson's a coach, Tim Tuffle, Howard Johnson. Yeah. It was pretty crazy. And you got Piazza there. So
that's surreal, right? I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, it's real.
So the funniest thing on that, they had some volunteers to do first and third exercises. And I almost got cut, I think, that first day. And so this is again, I was in an office job 2 days ago. Yeah. And so I played first base, and this is when Mike Piazza is transitioning to play first base. Oh my and so God. You can tell he's not nervous, but he's like trying to the coaches are talking to him about this first and third situation. Tom Glavin's on the mound and I'm running the base. Right. And so, I feel like I owe it to Mike Piazza, future Hall of Famer, to give him a little advice. Like, Mike, make sure you come to the ball and get a good angle on your throw. I'm like, who are you? I'm a nobody. Right?
I love that you gave Mike Piazza advice.
Oh, yeah. So I'm saying that, and like I'm leading off, and he didn't say step off. I'm like, say step off. And I actually said, say step off, and he does. And so I'm running, but I'm kind of looking because I'm a genuine person. I care for his well-being, and so I'm looking back, and I turn. It's Kaz Matsu, who is not a big guy, and I am probably all of 6'2", 220 pounds. Kaz Matsu's probably 5'11", 170. Mm-hmm. And so I just scoop him up, put him on my shoulder instead of just trucking him because there's nothing else I do, and put him down. And it's like he's cursing at me, and everyone's like, an idiot. And then the coaches just grab me like, go to the locker room. You're done. Like, so
yo, that is some movie shit. You were a movie character. You're giving advice to Mike Biazza. You're
That's funny.
picking up Kaz Matsui.
Yeah, I'm clueless. They're just like, who's this idiot giving us advice, almost running over, a star Japanese import, right? Coming over.
That's unbelievable.
Who single-handedly took down the Mets.
I think you could pitch for the Mets now. They suck. Have you considered trying to give it another shot? They're so
I could
bad.
definitely eat up innings. I probably throw so slow that guys couldn't hit it.
That's true. Yeah,
I think you might be all right against the Yankees.
Everything's a changeup. Everything's a 60-mile-an-hour changeup. It's very good. The thing with professional athletes that I think about a lot is, do you know who Brian Scalabrine is? He's played for the Celtics and won a ring, but he's our commentator now. But he does a lot of radio, and people call him and like, "You suck, you suck, you sucked. You only got a ring because of the big three." And he goes, he has this famous line. He goes, "I am closer to LeBron than you are to me." So then he issued the Scalabrine challenge. So all these like D1 guys would be like, "Let's play one-on-one." He fucking destroyed everyone. Because we don't realize how good these athletes are because we see them against other great athletes. Yep. If I was to try to catch a ball from you, you would break every bone in my arm. The same, like if Tom Brady threw me a football, it would kill me. And people don't realize how fucking great these people are. And
it's like when I'm playing pickleball.
Exactly. If you were to play Rodney in pickleball, you would be shocked.
I will tell you this. I could beat Peyton Manning at pickleball. I would destroy him. Literally. I've seen him play. He was like this.
Isn't it?
Yeah, you got to hit it. You got to hit the ball. Hit it.
He probably can't even turn his head, right? His neck's. And
I remember he was like on TV, like local TV, and he was like.
He could use his forehead as a paddle. His very big forehead.
He still had the red mark, like when he wore the helmet.
I hated Peyton Manning when he played because I'm a Patriots fan, but he's a delight. He's funny.
Yeah,
he's charming. Funny. He was very good at football, much to my.
He's funny. He's funny.
Yep. All right, so the baseball dream dies, and then what happens? Was that hard emotionally? Like, did you have to let it go? Did you need to meditate?
Yeah, new age meditation.
No witchcraft, right?
No witchcraft. Did you?
No, it wasn't. In a way, like obviously chasing that dream, but I put everything into it. I could look myself in the mirror. I made every effort.
Yeah.
And I felt confident it was time to transition because I just couldn't do it. And I couldn't keep up physically. It was just not there. And I had a great experience and it was a wild ride. So I felt like it was a gift more than anything.
Yeah.
If I would have cut corners or anything like that, I maybe it would have been a lot harder. But I will say there wasn't, I'd say very naive going into it because, you could see, where that there was still is pretty prevalent, right. Kind of steroids and people doing other things along those lines. Mm-hmm. And, part of me wonders, like, would things been a little different? And probably not. Probably would have got injured quicker. Probably not kept up, but yeah.
You don't see a lot of jacked up pitchers, but did you ever consider I'm going to grow 50 pounds of muscle. I'm going to start throwing 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, no, it would, I think it probably didn't benefit as much for wear and tear, but it was said, and there are people who definitely did it to get signed because they could, do that, run up on the radar gun and put a big number up. And then they got signed and then they would go clean. But that was like, to me, it was such a foreign world, again, not being in and around it. Mm-hmm. Chicago's not a baseball hotbed. So it wasn't like these competitive pockets of Florida, California, Texas, where I'm not suggesting they were, but it was probably more prevalent than, our hobby of playing baseball in Chicago.
I loved during that era, Nomar Garciaparra, who was our shortstop at the time, was shirtless on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He was jacked out of his mind. A week later, he tears every tendon in his arm. I wonder why that happened. Probably the steroids. All right, so you give up on the baseball dream, and then what happens? Where do you go?
That's where I went to the one. I lived in a suitcase. I was living out of a suitcase packed up, and I was like, I'm going to move to Denver, San Diego, and applied for jobs. And one was a project manager role for Quiznos.
So the journey starts at Quiznos, and you're there for 7 years, you said?
Yeah. Wore a lot of different hats from onboarding to procurement to turnaround for underperforming restaurants and markets to running coach and teach operations for the east half of the country. And then ultimately running, being the lead for the international presence.
A very natural transition for a pitcher from the Mets. That's exactly.
Well, I went to business school. I had internships. And so it was for me, it was kind of re-entering the workforce after I, conveniently retired from professional athletics.
Gotcha. All right. So when does
imagine that interview and they're like, well, give us a little background on what you were doing. Last week I was pitching for the Mets. Maybe you've heard of them. Yeah. They're like, sir, please. Right? No, I'm serious. Like imagine someone like saying that. Like, what were you doing last week? You really want to know? Yeah. I was pitching baseball. What were you doing? You know what I mean? I was on
Yeah,
TV,
and here's how I
whatever,
handle pressure, right? You know, it's
Yeah.
imagine getting on the mound when you have very little pitching experience against, you know, professionals who've been doing this their whole life.
Did you ever walk up to a hiring manager and go, listen, give me this. If I strike you out, can I have this job? And then you take them out.
Yeah, I try to sweep it onto the, you know, because it's like part of it's like you want credibility, and, you know, sports doesn't lend itself as, you know, as the credibility from a thinking man's perspective as much as it should. But
no, but we worship athletes. I feel like you can do whatever you want. You can have whatever job. You used to pitch for the Mets. Yeah, whatever. Be president. Look, we elected a game show host president. We love fame. We don't give a fuck what you did before.
It was a different time, and like you think about 04, right? I mean, it was kind of pre some of that.
I think about 04 all the time. That was the first Red Sox championship in 81 years. Okay, so franchising, rental properties. How do we get there? I'm obsessed with a franchise model because I want to own things that make me money but not work. Is that a reasonable goal in franchising?
If anyone tells you that, run.
No.
It's like anything. Starting your own business is going to be one of the hardest things you can do, but it can be most rewarding. What franchising does is that you manage out a lot of the risk in the equation. Franchising allows, you know, you have a model and allows you to follow. You have a support network of, you know, we have our operations team, our marketing team to really help you through it. And so you know, you look at the success rates of franchises extremely high relative to starting your own business, where I forget what the stats are most recently, but it's like 90% of businesses that are just pure startups with no kind of ties to franchising or any other model, 90% of those fail within the first year.
Right.
So, you know, that's really the appeal of franchising. But most franchise models, it's you tap into a model and a support network, and you're the driver of it. But really good franchises allow you to get out of the day-to-day. And so that dream can happen where you don't have to do any work and you can continue to kind of just, you know, coast on being, you know, America's sweetheart and just kind of being the mascot of America.
Well, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. Well, I think about a lot that Shaquille O'Neal owns like 500 Subways. Something tells me that he's not making the 6-inch BMTs.
Well, Papa John's, but yeah.
He also owns Papa John's.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of shit going on.
Papa
he owns the rights to Marilyn
But
Monroe.
those are the models, like those are buying existing businesses and operating they have. So like you said, you know, I said most business franchises, you're starting up and you're building up and you're getting out of the day-to-day. What he's bought into is actually, you know, he bought like 160 of them, and they have infrastructure, they have management in place. And so it's really more of a financial transaction, and he's operating truly like a CEO versus, you know, someone who's in the day-to-day, like you said, making the 6-inch pizzas.
See, I need to get Shaquille O'Neal money, but then I have to be good at something. Like,
you got to learn how to play basketball.
Is it too late? I'm 42 and white. What do you think? Like 6'1" though with the hair. I could be a point guard, maybe.
You know what you could do? What about, how's your arm? The Jets need someone.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the same, but I could probably still, you know, sling it 50 yards. I need to.
I could get 15 to 16 yards, I think. I'll dink and dunk. I'll be the Brady in the early era. Yak. I'm a big believer in yak. Yards after the catch.
Okay.
all
day long. I'll just throw behind the line of scrimmage.
Telling me. Okay, so this is your thing, and you have a lot of employees. How many employees do you have?
Oh, so, you know, our system, we have about 43 locations in it. So it's actually pretty lean. You know, most franchisors, I think we have about 14 or 15, you know, employees at the headquarters. But if you look, you know, a few hundred in the franchise system as a whole. So, you know, typically it's more of the employees end up at the franchise level, but our support team is pretty robust from a marketing operations to really set up, because we're really as a franchisor, we're a training organization. We're helping individuals have that dream of starting their own business, launch. And so what we need to do is just help them, you know, really make that possible and get to viability as quick as possible.
And when did you start this? How long is it ago? How long?
So I took over the reins about 2 years ago from, you know, co-founders who, you know, were running the operation. When we got there, we had about 18 locations. So, you know, part of it was just, you know, building the infrastructure, kind of retooling some things and really helping us ramp up and scale for, you know, be the business it deserves. You know, our system, what we do really well is, you know, we have, you know, almost 4.8 stars out of 5 for 600,000 guests. So we provide amazing guest experiences and, you know, kind of lead forward with technology, because, you know, it's a space that is very fragmented, and it's, you know, can be difficult to stand out. And we believe just providing great experiences, you get better repeat business. And so over a third of our business is repeat customers because, you know, they have a great experience.
As the CEO of SkyRun, I would imagine you have to stay a lot of these vacation rental properties to make sure they're up to par, right? So is your job, I would imagine, just constantly being on vacation? That's got to be it.
Yeah, that vacation thing hasn't happened all that much. I mean, it is nice when you're traveling to visit locations, you get to see that. But there's just so much we're doing, behind the scenes. And so, the nice thing is the feedback loops are there with kind of guest reviews and things like that, where you don't need me trying it out. So I don't get to do that as much.
There's just no easy way, right? Is it work hard and dedication and that's it, right? God.
Well, yeah,
I think that's it.
Opportunity cost. If I'm in that place, someone else can't take it. And so it's taking revenue potentially from a location. So I don't want to do that.
You're such an altruist. I would. I mean, like, somebody has to sleep here to make sure it's good for our guests, guys, right? What is Airbnb a competitor? Like, how does?
No, they're actually a partner. So so Airbnb. So think in terms of Airbnb and like Vrbo. They're the marketing channel. They're like Google. They're the search engine for all the inventory. And so what's made them successful is they have everyone's inventories syndicated out there. And so there's individuals marketing it. There's property managers like us marketing out there. And they're not a manager. They're truly just taking a percentage to market and help with bookings. And so that's where they're a great partner to us. But as I mentioned, usually most of the leads, people come in through Airbnb and Vrbo, and if you create a good experience, they come back directly to you because they've had an experience. But
where's your favorite place to vacation since you're in the vacation space?
Oh, geez. Hawaii is always just a great one. It's a little bit of a beating to get to. You actually feel like you're on vacation, right? You can, the pace of everything. But I love new places. I love traveling. I've done a fair amount in Europe, Asia. To me, if it's somewhere I haven't been, I'm all in. So I try to get some newer places, but Hawaii is kind of go-to. Even
over Europe, or are you just doing that in the Americas?
Today we're only in the United States.
Yeah, I mean your personal like.
Europe, I've been out there, a number of times, and I love the proximity because you can explore. It's kind of like. It's like being in the Midwest where everything's kind of, you jump on a train, you can almost get anywhere.
Yeah.
In different countries. And so you just kind of land in a Paris or a London, right? And you can launch and you can go to Ireland. You jump really quick to get to Ireland and, you can try out some Michelin star restaurants.
No shit.
So, that's right.
My father's a retired Army colonel. We lived in Belgium for 3 years. We took field trips to the Swiss Alps.
Brussels is great.
Like, these assholes, I live in Massachusetts now. They went to New Hampshire for their field trips. You dorks. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so much better over there.
Yeah, Brussels is a great one. That's one of my favorite stops. I enjoyed it. Some amazing museums. You talked about it, but they were more military museums. And so you had real planes and things like that. So it wasn't the artwork, but it was definitely, I'll say, more engaging for me.
Yeah, man, we're going to wrap this all together because Brussels and their pizza, very thin, and they fry an egg on top. I
like that. That's what you got to do. You got to do a pizza truck with fried eggs.
Oh, a belt. You know what? Yes. And then you can do pommes frites, the little fucking French fry with the mayonnaise on top. And we talked about this too. French food is considered the greatest food. Like, I think everyone thinks, oh, French food's at the top. There's no French restaurants. There's no French food trucks. Think about it. Lucas, what's the dream? Are we going to expand? Are we going internationally? Can I stay at one of your places in Antarctica soon?
Yeah, probably Antarctica. Not. I don't think we're going to get a lot of traffic there.
I don't like the cold anyway. All right, forget about it.
We don't like cold.
No, we'll expand. I mean, we'll probably open about 25 new locations next year. Kind of be a consistent cadence like that. We'll have a few hundred, I think, at maturity around the U.S. But international is a much bigger market. But the nice thing is, our group, we're privately held, so our aspirations isn't about being the largest; it's about being the best. And so, our goal is to really make a big imprint and really elevate the industry for the better. And so, we'll get to some size, but we're not going to grow at just all costs. It's about growing and doing it right. So it's kind of fun to do that without having just kind of arbitrary targets set out there.
Right. And this is something that you can grow and sell too. So do you have a 5-year, 10-year plan? When do you want to go retire to Hawaii? Is it within striking distance?
I have that Midwest mentality. I get a little anxiety about thinking about not working. Like, I don't know what I'll do with myself.
All right. You know what I would do?
I have the same thing. Yeah.
All right. You want some unsolicited advice? I'll give it to you. Build this thing up for 10 years, right? Sell it, retire, go to an old folks home and start striking out everybody. Like, hey, you want to play baseball? And then just, right.
Yeah. Brush them off the plate, hit some old people, break some hips. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody
you join the softball team.
Yeah.
Oh, join the softball team. That's right. I mean, you were first baseman. You can probably rake, right? You must. You can
I could hit back in the day.
Yeah,
I haven't touched a bat in so
trust
long.
Trust me. I think you could. I was at a celebrity thing like years ago, and they had this softball game, and Robinson Cano was there, and he's like, I never really played softball. I said, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that would be you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't throw it to him.
Yeah, I played third base in high school. My problem with first baseman is just so far away. It's such a long throw. Oh, they need to smush the diamond a little bit. Exhausting on my, you know what I'm saying, right? It's a long throw.
Tiring. Very tiring.
It's exhausting.
Hot little league diamond. You'd have been just fine.
I'm a very sensitive boy. All right, hey, listen, we did that hour. It flew by.
Really
so I guess we should probably wrap this up. But you wanna pimp out your little your thing here that's gonna retire you in 10 years to Hawaii?
No, I mean, if you want to know more, just go to skyrun.com. It's great places, and I'll just tell you, we have a lot of great rentals. So if you're looking for a destination, we're in 40 plus. And if you're looking to start a business, we're here to help, whether it's with us or anyone else. We can help you through the journey of franchising.
Beautiful. And if you want 50% off, use the coupon code TheEricandRodneyShow.com on all SkyRun affiliated websites.
Or the golden toilet. Well,
the golden toilet. You want 50% off.
The golden toilet comes free with purchase.
Yes. Is it true that the golden toilet's in one of your rental properties? Is that's why we had you on today?
Yeah.
All right,
here's the thing: you have to stay at each one of the properties to find it.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting! It's like a punch card at Subway or Quiznos. That's how you get a free sub. That's okay. Listen, come back tomorrow, Lucas. Don't stay there. Stay there. Don't log off. But we have to log off the live stream. So we'll be back tomorrow, America. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.
Thanks all.